In Brockton, we swing for the fences so we can touch home.
We coach in Brockton to instill the teamwork that builds a great winning tradition.
We do business in Brockton because here you can find a taste of home away from home.
We keep our company in Brockton because we love this city.
I study and learn in Brockton to achieve my goals.
When Brockton is home, everything is within reach. About bringing new companies to Brockton and bringing new investment, new jobs to Brockton. But even more important than bringing new investment to Brockton is reinvestment by businesses and companies that are already here. And Dan's right, there's no company with deeper Brockton roots than Shaw's as the original BPM. I mean, it's a very large company nowadays, but it certainly has deep roots here in the city of Brockton. So I just want to express my appreciation for the commitment that Shaw's has made by reinvesting probably somewhere in the neighborhood of $2 million in the renovation of this store. And I think it's not only the reinvestment, but it's the long-term commitment that it represents, the commitment to be here, and the commitment to continue to provide jobs to Brockton residents in the city. So I'm excited. In my old age, though, I am trying to eat healthier. So they're going to kill me with this new produce section you have to walk through now to get to the deli. I'm just going to have to find out where they're hiding the ringdings once I get through all the produce. But I am tremendously thrilled and happy to be here this morning and to acknowledge and thank Shaw's for their continuing investment and confidence in the market here in the city of Brockton. Thank you.
We're the largest privately held office supplier in the country right now, and it's coming out of Brockton, Massachusetts.
Kenworth has had a good experience in Brockton. The big selling point for Kenworth going to Brockton was easy highway access and a city that would be easy to work with to get a nicely renovated facility up and running quickly.
This is home. We love where we're at right now. And why would anybody not want to come to Brockton and go out there and try to shoot for the same kind of dreams with their company?
Business investments are helping to build a new Brockton.
Why did you live up north so far away?
This time I'd like to ask Mayor Carpenter to come to the front to read The Night Before Christmas, and Mayor Carpenter will be playing Zyber Keith, the mayor of Brockton in 1890.
You guys all know this one, right? Well, if I need any help, just help me then, okay? 'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters, and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new-fallen snow gave the luster of midday to objects below, when what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With the little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donder and Blitzen. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky. So up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with a sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him, in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk. And laying his finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him explain ere he drove out of sight, Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
In Brockton, we swing for the fences so we can touch home.
We coach in Brockton to instill the teamwork that builds a great winning tradition.
We do business in Brockton because here you can find a taste of home away from home.
We keep our company in Brockton because we love this city.
I study and learn in Brockton to achieve my goals.
When Brockton is home, everything is within reach.
So we'd like to bring up the mayor of Brockton, Mayor Bill Carpenter, to say a few words.
Congratulations. Well, when they told me we were cutting a ribbon at McDonald's, I said, I can do that one. So I've cut ribbons at a lot of places, but I think this might be one of my favorites. In all seriousness, this has been a well-established location for a long time. I think originally opened under prior ownership all the way back in the early 90s. I remember when it opened. When you raise 6 kids, you go to McDonald's a lot, so we were regulars here ever since the establishment was here. But these guys have really done a tremendous job with this. I think this is the third time that you've remade the restaurant. So, you know, they really have been willing to reinvest. For people in my age group, it doesn't exactly look like the old golden arches when you go by anymore, when there was, you know, a million McDonald's and they all looked exactly the same and you could see the golden arches from a mile away. This really has a cafe feel to it. It also has a very 21st century feel to it. And so we're very excited that one of the first restaurants of this type with McDonald's that, you know, you've chosen to bring here to Brockton. And you know, as much time as we spend looking at bringing new business into Brockton, we're always very careful to make sure that we realize our first responsibility is making sure that the businesses that are already here continue to thrive and grow. People that have already made their investment in Brockton, that we not go by them while we're trying to attract newcomers. So I think this is a great example of folks who have a significant investment here in the city, not just in this location, that are continuing to reinvest here because they believe in the city of Brockton. And I just want to personally thank you for investing in and believing in Brockton.
Thank you.
All right?
With that said,
I'll count you down, okay?
All right.
All right, so 3, 2, 1.
Now please go inside and sample our new product.
We're the largest privately held office supplier in the country right now, and it's coming out of Brockton, Massachusetts.
Kenworth has had a good experience in Brockton. The big selling point for Kenworth going to Brockton was easy highway access and a city that would be easy to work with to get a nicely renovated facility up and running quickly.
This is home. We love where we're at right now. And why would anybody not want to come to Brockton and go out there and try to shoot for the same kind of dreams with their company?
Business investments are helping to build a new Brockton.
Well, I just want to thank everyone that was here, but also everyone who made tonight possible. The quintet from the symphony, the chorus from the high school, everyone that volunteered their time to make tonight possible. This night just keeps getting better every year, so we love having you all here. And don't go anywhere, we have one more Christmas carol still coming from the chorus.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's end by singing Joy to the World. Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive a King. Let every heart prepare him room. And heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Joy to the world, the Savior reigns. Let the songs employ, while fields and floods, rocks, hills and plains, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy. He rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations rule. The glories of his righteousness, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love, and wonders, wonders of his love.
In Brockton, we swing for the fences so we can touch home.
We coach in Brockton to instill the teamwork that builds a great winning tradition.
We do business in Brockton because here you can find a taste of home away from home.
We keep our company in Brockton because we love this city.
I study and learn in Brockton to achieve my goals.
When Brockton is home, everything is within reach.
Yeah, we're going to do some education. You know why? Because they've never pushed the button. At night they're pushing it, because I've come by 2 different nights and seen it flash.
This first location of a rapidly flashing beacon is here on North Montello Street at the corner of Wilmington. Very busy spot for commuters getting on and off of the commuter rail to be crossing Route 28 North Montello Street here. So I'm sure that that had to be a big factor in selecting this as one of the locations, targeting areas where this type of pedestrian safety improvement would have the most impact.
Right, when we met with the task force, with the train station being so close to North Montello Street, you will find a lot of pedestrian traffic crossing here, so this is one of the target locations.
Yep. And particularly at this time of year, I know that we get a lot of early morning and later evening commuters that are actually going to work or coming home from work in the dark now at this time of the year, and crossing this street can be problematic in the dark. So these are the rapidly flashing beacons. We're going to actually look at 4 sets of them that have been installed, but just kind of give me a general overview in terms of the power, the signage, and exactly how they work.
So the intention of the RRFB, Rectangular Rapid Flashing Beacon, is only to give attention to a passing motorist that there's a pedestrian waiting to walk. So this isn't a stoplight, it's not a red light. This is just to gain the attention of a driver who might not see someone in the dark attempting to cross the street.
Right.
It's solar powered, so you can see the solar power up top.
Yep.
The wiring comes down through the pipe into this box. Inside the box, there's a battery about the size of a car battery. There's wiring terminals, and there's a computer that's about twice the size of an iPhone. It's not a very big computer whatsoever. Okay. When someone comes up to push the button, it's just a touch button. You don't have to push it in or anything.
Okay.
Once you touch it, you'll get a tone that acknowledges that you've touched the button.
Yeah.
The beacons will begin to flash. Now, in addition to this project, there were improvements done to the pedestrian access to make sure that the ramps were good.
Yep.
And there was an additional signage. You can see about 100 feet up,
Yep.
Facing the other direction. There's a pedestrian ahead sign.
We'll get a shot of that. So
Right.
a big part of these safety improvements at these crossing points, it's not just the beacons, but it's the signage, and you can see the difference. And I've driven by these a number of times now. The signage here and the signage on both sides of the street, I mean, they are really bright fluorescent.
Right.
You see them in your car approaching, you see them from quite a distance. And when you add that to the flashing lights, but yeah, so there's signage that's already going to be warning the driver about a pedestrian crossing, and then if in fact someone's getting ready to cross, they hit the button, the flashing lights are going to gain the driver's attention, hopefully in plenty of time for them to stop and allow the pedestrian to cross.
Right, and they find that some of the biggest causes of pedestrian accidents is the distracted driver, and hopefully the rapid flashing beacon will get the attention of the distracted driver.
Right, so if that driver who may not be paying attention or may not be aware that they're approaching a popular pedestrian crossing, between the signage, the flashing lights, it's going to catch their attention. Hopefully they at least take their foot off the gas and slow down a little bit to look to see what might be there. So the flashing beacon, it's not a stop sign. It doesn't require a driver to come to a stop. It's designed to make the driver aware that there may be someone getting ready to cross the street right through their path.
That's correct. It's also important to remember that you need to use the crosswalk. As the pedestrian, this is not a stoplight.
Right.
So when you push the button, you still have to stand in the crosswalk and look both ways and wait for safe passage.
Right. So you don't have the benefit of a traffic signal. And actually, these are designed to go at locations that don't have traffic signals, right? So we're going to tend to find these at busy intersections and busy spots that are not currently controlled by a traffic light.
Correct.
And with the solar power, no hard wiring involved.
Nope.
It'll store enough juice from the sunny days.
Right. There's no electrical power to this besides what's in the solar, and the battery is rated to last a few days, even without any solar.
Yep.
They are connected by radio, so when one button is pushed, both will activate. So you'll have flashing on both sides of the street at the same time, and that's radio controlled.
And actually, if we look at that one across the street, I think particularly maybe from up here, you can get a much clearer idea of what that solar panel looks like, and I guess facing the south, because that's where the track of the sun is.
Right.
All right, do you think we can...
So if we push the button, when we push it, we will get a red light, a little red light, a little LED here.
Yep.
And we will get an audible tone just a small chirp that
Yep.
acknowledges.
All right, so let's give it a try here and see what it looks like when a pedestrian activates it.
So you get the small chirp.
Yep.
It's flashing.
The lights are flashing,
So now we walk.
but still have to look both ways.
So they see us.
And that, right, now they've stopped and let us cross. Wow, that worked great.
And it's still flashing, so still plenty of time.
Yep. So the key is the light doesn't require the driver to stop. The light doesn't require the driver to stop, but hopefully by drawing attention to it, the driver now sees the person in the crosswalk and comes to the stop to allow them to cross. Yeah. Now I've got to tell folks, and maybe we can get a shot of this after dark, but I've come by here a couple times at night, and I mean there is a dramatic difference in how visible those beacons are at night. When you're coming down this street at night and that beacon's flashing, you can see it from a long, long distance. It's drawing your attention. And it almost reminds you of a railroad crossing. It's like approaching a railroad crossing, kind of the same idea except for a pedestrian crossing. All right, we'll take our chances and try going back again.
Okay.
So you can hear when you push the button, yep.
We still have to stop and look.
Yep. These are new handicap accessible ramps on each side of the crosswalk also, so.
So this person's not familiar, so again,
Yep.
you've got to look.
Gotta look, oh, we're good now. And I think it's important to note that part of this project required by law was making sure that this intersection was fully ADA compliant.
Right.
So another benefit, and it did take a little away from some of the pedestrians, the extent of some of the equipment we could purchase, but in terms of us moving towards complete streets and accessibility, we've not only redone the crosswalks and put this equipment in, but we've now also ensured that someone in a wheelchair can cross safely also.
Right.